I decided to write a song.
The deal, what's the deal? How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another electrifying episode of the Makeaway Podcast. I'm your host and I'm here a little bit lonely today. I'm here by myself. I usually have a guest, but today we're doing something a little bit different. A gentleman wasn't able to make it tonight, but that's perfectly fine. I was able to watch a whole lot of football this weekend, so I thought I'd share it all with you guys. I'd let you guys know all of the highs and the lows of what happened in Philadelphia football locally, as well as what happened in the PSAC college football frame. I was very happy with it, I'm not going to lie. I got to sit down and watch a multitude of high school games this weekend. I couldn't tell you the last time I sat down and watched 3 high school games. I'm not going to lie to you, boss. The first game I got a chance to sit down and watch, I took a trip down and went to go watch Episcopal Academy for the first time ever. They took on Roman Catholic High School. The game started out a couple plays in. Episcopal Academy took a shot downfield. They wanted to warm the crowd up. They wanted to let Roman Catholic know, listen, you guys got a bunch of Division I kids, but we got a couple pretty good ball players too. And they thought that they were just going to take them up top. They had a nice little pass down the sideline. And, immediately afterwards, wham, there's a 64-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown by Luke Van Brill. Roman set the stage after that, and there was no turning back. Episcopal got the ball back a few plays later. Roman took over, and before you blink again, there's a 40-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown by Jameer Diabra. And that was kind of the tone all night. I'll tell you, so Roman Catholic's defensive coordinator, Keita Crispina. Coach Keita, I've been around Coach Keita for a multitude of years. When I was in high school, I actually went to his open workouts when he was still with St. Joe's Prep called the Skills Academy down in, it was down at the Black Hawks field, I believe. So Coach Keita was a great coach. I remember he used to have his little mantra, DBs do it better. He had a lot of different guys coming to those workouts. I remember it was DJ Moore. It was a bunch of different local Philly athletes around my time. And we all used to just go out and get that free work and used to work hard every single day. So, eventually Coach Keita, made his rounds. And now I think he took a trip to LaSalle, coached there for a year or two. And now, he's down at Roman Catholic. And I'll tell you, man, I was down on the sideline and I was watching Coach Keita up close and personal, calling the defense. And he was throwing the kitchen sink at Episcopal, man. He was throwing the kitchen sink. He wanted to do everything in his power to let them know that they were not going to let up. He ended up pitching the first half shutout. Samaj Bill had a pretty good game. He threw for one touchdown, rushed for one touchdown in the first half. They led 24-0 at halftime. Afterwards, it was kind of a rookie rumble by the time they went up. What was the score? I forget. We'll be right back. Sorry about that. I forgot the final score. I don't know why I didn't write it down. But it is what it is. First time doing this. But, so Episcopal ended up losing 30-14 to Roman Catholic. Couple observations for me. Jaja Boyd, he plays DB for Roman Catholic. That kid is real deal. And there were a bunch of Division I kids on that field, so obviously, sometimes it's hard to decide one from another. But that kid can ball, man. I watched this kid be able to come into the game on offense after he just played like a 10-play defensive drive. Go in, they said, Ja, we need you. Run a fade up the sideline, catch the ball, acrobatic catch, and get right back out and get ready for defense because he needed a break. It was that bad. Like, he was in the whole game. The kid was working hard as hell. And I'm not going to lie, I'm very excited to see what the kid does at JMU. Now, what I will say, he's a great defensive back, but I'm very interested to see if the coaches kind of start to see some of this film and be like, you know what, we're going to Travis Hunter this thing. We're going to let you play both ways because I think that this kid is good enough to play offense in college. I'm not going to lie. JMU's a really good program. They've been historically good for a long time at the FCS level. They just moved up to the Power 5 level. They just moved up to the FBS. And they're still looking pretty good, I'm not going to lie. But, I'm very excited to see how they are going to play going forward and how this kid is going to be able to plug into the system. Because I feel like out of all of the kids I saw, he is one of the few kids that I saw all weekend that is a plug-and-play Division I player. But yeah, no, after that, they went up about 30-0, they went up 24-0, and then after that, it was a little bit of a rookie rumble. The JV squads started to get in for both teams. Episcopal started to fight back. Their young guys did not want to get shut out, man. They brought in their young guys. They scored 2 touchdowns. They were able to recover an onside kick. Like, them kids wanted to play. So if it's one thing, I'll give a shout out to Episcopal Academy football because their coaches know that they have a culture set at that school. They were 9-1 last year. This is no light turkey, Shout out to their quarterback. Hopefully he's doing well. He left the game early with an injury. But those kids came out with the intention to ball. And the young guys coming in and scoring 2 touchdowns quick showed that they did not come to mess around, man. So moving on today, I woke up this morning, rolled out of bed, and drove down to Malvern. You know, my buddy Chris Smith coaches at Malvern Prep High School. And I was able to watch Malvern versus Delbarton. Now, I never heard of Delbarton, but I found out today that they're one of the top 10 programs in all of New Jersey. So this was going to be a dogfight from the gun bus. Malvern's also a top 10 program here in PA. So I was very intrigued to see how this matchup was going to go. So the game finished off 20-17. I'm going to ruin it for you now. Malvern ended up getting the win at home. It was a very aggressive game. Both sides of the stands were packed. A lot of great people came down to watch this game. And I'll tell you, man, Delbarton came out early. It was 10-0. Bang, bang, touchdown in the field goal. And I was like, oh, this might get ugly. It was super hot outside. A multitude of people there, man. It was a great crowd. They had a whole student section on the Malvern side, a bunch of high school kids that had Hawaiian shirts on. Like, they wanted to let these kids know that we were here to play ball. You know what I mean? But once they went down 10-0, that's kind of where things started to change. Quarterback Skylar Smith wanted to let these people know that, you know, he's not a young guy anymore. You know, he wanted to come in and show these guys that I plan on being a Division I quarterback one day, and that is going to mean that I have to put my team on my back and start to lead some scoring drives. So Skylar Smith came out, and he threw a 20-yard pass. I think it was number 13, Luca Hardy. A little out route. Threw a 20-yard pass to number 13. They scored. That after they got on the board, that was all the motivation that sideline needed to know, hey, guys, we can win this. Coach G got back up on his guys. He let them know that we're not letting up. And slowly but surely, they went into the halftime at 10-7, right? They came back from halftime, and what was it? Yeah, they came back from halftime. It was 10-7. Right away, found P.J. Holmes for another touchdown. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, Malvern's up, and I don't think they let up after that. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was a very, very impressive game by the running back duo of Christopher Smith and Zeke Bates. They were able to control the clock. They were able to run the ball quite well for the Malvern Friars. I don't think either of them got into the end zone today. But, you know, it was a very, very good showing. A lot of good, hard, powerful runs. But, you know, Skylar Smith also was able to do a lot on his feet. I was very impressed by his mobility and his ability to move the pocket. I think he's going to be a very interesting quarterback going forward. I think he's going to be very good as he progresses and learns this offense and develops in this offense with Coach Guerrero. They're going to be together for, I believe, another year. Are they going to be together? I'm not sure. But I think he at least got another year. But Skylar's a very good quarterback. He has a really good deep ball, very accurate deep ball, and he knows how to pace the clock. I think that was one of the best things that I saw from a young quarterback today. After that, Imhotep took on Spalding, Maryland. That was another huge matchup today. Imhotep and Malvern are going to see each other next week, and best believe I'm going to be on the sideline for that. Listen, guys, Imhotep coaches or Malvern coaches, I'm going to be on both sidelines at some point during the game. Don't look at me like, oh, here, Oppie was over there. Philly people love that word, Opp, and I'm just letting you know that I'm media. I'm going to be on both sides. I just want to see the game live and up close and personal so I can get a real feel of the game. So I'm just letting y'all know in advance. If I come out and y'all see me on Malvern sideline, please don't bust at me, man. I am here as a media professional. I'm here to watch the game, learn the game, love the game, and really see how both teams are going to go down. So Spalding came out. They were up 7-0. Spalding, Maryland, great football team. Shout out to Spalding. Imhotep actually came away with the victory today. Spalding came out 7-0. Took an early lead against Imhotep, and Jabri Coleman stole the show. Georgia running back commit from Imhotep Charter, Jabri Coleman, was the star of the show today. Now I will say, Tassir Denmark is the real deal. This kid does not drop the football. I seen him. I believe he had 12 catches for 90 yards today. Very efficient, very hard-working kid. Great routes, great hands, great finish on the football. But Jabri Coleman was one of them, bro. That kid can ball. Coleman came out here, had a 3-touchdown game today, and he put his Imhotep Panthers on his back. And I was very happy to see it, man. Because a lot of times, when a running back is committing to the SEC, you want to show that you have vision, that you have finish on the football, that they run relentlessly, that they have great breakaway speed. He had a 48-yard touchdown run to score the second touchdown. And I'll just tell you, man, that kid can play. I'm very excited to see what he does at the next level. Hopefully he gets to, be the next great Georgia running back, another Ty Gurley, another Sonny Michel, another DeAndre Swift, hopefully. Maybe make it back to the biddy. We'll find out. Overall, I'm very excited for this Malvern and Imhotep charter game. I think it's going to be a battle of two really good rushing attacks. I think that the way the matchup is going to go, Imhotep is going to come out and they're going to try to ground and pound. They're going to try to run the football. Mikal Davis, that's his kid's name. He's committed to Army, I remember. Mikal Davis is going to come out and he's going to try to lead the front with his arm and with his legs. And Jabri Coleman and the rest of their running backs, they're going to try to run the football and control the clock the way they do. Imhotep is a very, very strong, very bleeding defense. I think Imhotep has the defensive edge in this one, but I think the offenses are very much both very powerful. I think Malvern Prep's running backs, because they don't have as big of a name, are not going to get the credit they deserve coming into this game. I think they're both really well-coached programs, and I think that this is going to be a great game overall. Malvern Prep took the matchup last year, so I'm very interested to see how they do this. Imhotep has outscored their opponents like 120 to like the 14, 17 points they gave up today. That was the most points they gave up, more than the other two games combined. They were winning like 120-0 coming into today. So Imhotep's coaches are very much trying to set the precedent for the season, let people know that they're here to play. And when they get to the pub, it's probably going to be a whole bunch of those games. But this game versus Malvern is going to be the closest to a state playoff game that they're going to see after this week. So I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see the rest of the season play out. I'm very excited for that game next week, and I can't wait to be on the sideline for that one, man. Next off, I took a little trip to, scrolling through the PSAC scores. Quick PSAC score roundup. Shepherd beat Edinburgh 28-35. Shippensburg took a little loss to Seton Hill today, 23-28. It was a battle of the backup quarterbacks. We got to watch Sam Johnson play against the backup quarterback from Seton Hill. Seton Hill had a really hard-fought victory today. I was very impressed by what I saw. Moving on, Cal U took down Kutztown. I couldn't tell you the last time I remember Kutztown was 0-2. I'm not going to lie. I'm very, very intrigued to see how this goes. Hopefully, it's for the best. Hopefully, it's a really good football game going forward. I think Kutztown is still a really good football team. Mr. Novak is a really good quarterback. I'm very excited to see how they go. I believe his older sister went to college with me. He was my starting quarterback's. He's my starting quarterback's wife's little brother. So I don't know the kid personally, but I'm very excited for him. I hope to see him win. I think Kutztown's going to be a good ball club. Coach Clemens has a really good program, really good coach over there. So, first time seeing Kutztown start 0-2 in a long time, but I don't think that really means much for the East. I think once they come back to the PSAC East, they're going to win a lot of games convincingly because of the culture that they have over there and the precedent that they have over there. Millersville starting out 2-0. I couldn't tell you the last time I seen that, man. Millersville starting off 2-0 with a 28-21 victory over Gannon. Very, very dominant performance by the Millersville Marauders. Last second, I think it was like less than a minute left. Robert Coleman threw a dot of a touchdown to the back of the end zone to put Millersville up. I think it was to Makai Alexander to put Millersville up 28-21. Very electric performance. I'm not going to lie. I'm very intrigued by this Millersville football team. What I will say is they finished top 3 in the PSAC East last year, and I think that they're the dark horse team to win the East. I'm not saying they're going to win the East. I think it's going to be between them and Westchester. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from Shepherd. This is the first time that I've seen Shepherd really being in one-score games every single week. But what I will say, I think it's going to come down to Millersville, and I think it's going to... I like East Stroudsburg, too. I'm not going to lie. They knocked off... I was just about to get to that, too. East Stroudsburg came in tonight, and they ended their 22-game losing streak versus ranked opponents. I feel like that is very much to speak on. East Stroudsburg came out versus IUP today. Tariq Lewis had 87 yards rushing. Sergey Felizor had 12 tackles, including 1.5 for loss, and All-American Deshaun McCarthy had 8 total tackles, 3.5 TFLs, and 2 sacks. That guy was all over the place, I'm not going to lie. I'm intrigued by this East Stroudsburg team as much as I am intrigued by this Millersville team. I like this Robbie football kid, this Robert Coleman kid. I think that he's going to be a hell of a ball player in the PSAC, and I think he's going to be a quarterback that's going to piss a lot of defenses off because not only can he run, but he can make the off-schedule throws, the off-balance throws on all 52.5 yards sideline to sideline, man. This kid can sling it. But ESU's defense is one not to be played with either. I'm not going to lie. So I'm very intrigued by the East Stroudsburg team. Westchester is Westchester. I think Westchester is going to be a good team as well. Kutztown has the precedent. Shepherd is the defending champions. But I like Millersville. I like East Stroudsburg's teams. Knocking off IUP by East Stroudsburg today was a very impressive game. Bloomsburg won 21-7 versus Clarion today. And Lockhaven lost to Mercier is 42-24. I feel like that was a very improved offense this year for Lockhaven. I'm very intrigued by the new weapons that they have there. There's running back Charlie Collier, a transfer from Wagner University. This kid can run. He's the big body back. He runs very physical. He's actually an underrated receiver out of the backfield. I think the kid really can catch. He really can make moves in space, and I'm very intrigued to see what he does in the PSAC East. I think he's going to be one of the leading rushers in the PSAC, especially once they get their feet wet. Overall, Coach Mulrooney has been doing a lot of interesting things in the PSAC. I think he's going to continue to do a lot of interesting things, and don't be surprised if Lockhaven knocks off a couple of these teams in the East. I'm not going to lie, bro. I've been watching them very closely. It's one of those, you don't want to speak on it too soon. I'm a graduate of Lockhaven University. I love my Bald Eagle family. Everybody called me Mr. Lockhaven back in my day. I graduated and I transferred to Lake Erie College. Hence the hoodie I got on now. Shout out to Lake Erie College. They took on Northern Michigan University today. Not in my conversation, not my spiel for tonight, but they took out Northern Michigan University. They went on the 17-0. Scoring streak at the end of the game, and they knocked them down. Shout out to Coach Bolden. Shout out to Coach Thompson. Shout out to all of the men down there. We got my man Xavier Bullock over there at quarterback, taking over the reins for Gerald Gardner, who is down at Angelo State University right now, giving the business to Colorado School of the Mines, man. Shout out to my boy G Money. Let me see. Right now, the game's still going on as I'm speaking currently. Let's see. Oh, it's actually... So, I just pulled up the game as we're going. It's actually a good ball game. It's the fourth quarter right now. And the score is 24-21 Colorado School of the Mines. Y'all probably not going to get the end of the score from me. But Gerald's giving them a hell of a game, man. Currently, as I'm looking, he's 22 for 35, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He's playing the game of his life, if you ask me. But... only time will tell. Right now, Colorado School of the Mines has just scored 2 touchdowns two touchdowns in the fourth quarter. We shall see how that game goes. This is number 2 in the country versus number 4 in the country. But G Money's still giving them the business. Shout out to my boy at QB, Gerald Gardner. I'm very much going to put the country on notice this year. After that, I'm very, very intrigued about how things are going to go going forward. In the PSAC, we got a lot of interesting matchups coming up. But I'm very excited for us to get the league play. I think a lot of these teams are going to be able to show us a lot. I think a lot of defensive players around the PSAC are going to be really, really good as well. I'm very, very intrigued by what's to come. What I will say is that Kyle U in the West is going to be what Kyle U is. Right now they have this defensive end, Ibrahim Sanogo. This kid really can play ball. Okay, he had 6 tackles. He had 4.5 TFLs, 2 sacks. This kid is everywhere. He's wearing number 9 right now. Very, very good ball player. Was able to do a lot of different things. For his Kyle U football team when they beat Kutztown today. I think that this kid is going to be one of the premier pass rushers in the PSAC. And I won't be surprised if he ends up transferring to a Division I school. I'm going to be frank with you. My little brother's a good pass rusher too. Ibrahim Diawara, he plays at Shippensburg as well. Ibrahim Sanogo and Ibrahim Diawara, they're going to be the 2 Ibrahims that's going to shut down the show. So shout out to California University football as well. Being as though I played in the East, most of my speaking is on the PSAC East. I love watching PSAC East football. I'm very, very invested in the community and very interested to see how things go moving forward. Moving forward with the Makeaway podcast, next week I'm very excited to have Delaware Valley University cornerback Justin Harris, former All-American, for the Aggies. He's going to come in next week, and we're going to talk a lot of ball. We're going to talk about his experience. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifference, the undefeated streak throughout league play. I don't know if he's ever lost a game in the MAC, but I'm very excited to talk to him. And I got a lot of other cool things going on, too. I'm going to start doing a couple more Player of the Week videos. I had a couple technical difficulties last week. Last week, my Player of the Week was Robbie Footman, Robbie Football for Millersville University. Shout out to Robbie Football. And yeah, man, I can't wait to put out a bunch of cool content for you guys. Hopefully this was cool for you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more information. And we'll be back soon on the Make Away Podcast.